Good morning, Mr. Milbury.
Good morning.
Before we get to Bruins business, I am workshopping a bunch of new roadshow locations for the spring. And I want to go North Shore, and you have recommended your sister's restaurant.
Yes, I have. It's about time you brought that up.
What is that called?
My Place by the Sea.
Okay, is it in Rockport?
It's in Rockport, on Bearskin Neck, right at the very end.
Okay.
And it sits right on the water, and she will deck herself out and her restaurant out for you guys to go there. And there's a couple of nice places now. There have been a sort of scarcity of hotels, but now they're starting to pop up all over the place in the Rockport area. So we'll find you a good bed to sleep in.
What do you guys think?
How's her dirty martini?
Oh, I'll tend the bar that night, and you'll be fine.
Perfect.
I'm down for whatever, man.
Okay, all right. I think maybe we should do it.
Yeah.
I know Mike's a friend of the show. I don't want to give him any advantage, but I feel like it's a.
Oh, come on, that happens all the time. Inside advantage works for me.
How many people does a place hold?
She's got an upstairs and a downstairs, and mostly upstairs is there's a deck.
Okay.
Hopefully the weather's good, and you can. I would say like 100, maybe.
Wow.
All right.
Well, that's the great thing about a road show. As somebody who grew up around here my whole life, I get to explore places that I've never even seen or heard
before.
Go
to all new places.
Yeah, so I enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a little nervous, about Kelly's roast beef has been sold. Did you see that?
Yes.
Is that scary to you? I mean, they can't screw that up, can they?
I don't
They're
know.
probably not even in the top 10 when it comes to the roast beef sandwiches.
Yeah, Wiggy doesn't
Really?
even have them. Wiggy has not had them in his top 10. So.
Well, Mike, if you really go look at the good roast beef, and I'm no North Shore beef expert, but I do love a roast beef sandwich. I like the shredded more than Kelly's is a little bit thicker and not as shredded roast beef when they do it on their sandwiches.
That's a fair point, but there's nobody who makes a better sauce though than Kelly's.
Well, Isn't it not really local anymore though? Because there's so many in Florida that it's like so commercial. How can you quality control? Like it's not your.
Yeah, no, I can't speak to the Florida Kelly's, but I do know that if I pass one, it's a rare occasion when I do pass one.
No, I eat it though, so I'll still eat Kelly's. I ain't gonna hate on them like that.
Are you a three-way? Yeah. Are you a three-way guy, Mike?
What do you mean three-way?
What, mayonnaise, sauce?
Yeah, that'd be fine by me. I mean, just pour it on. I'm going to die soon anyway. You know what? Hey, I heard you guys talking about that California mayor. Could maybe we trade California for Greenland? Maybe we could make a deal with Denmark, and maybe we could throw in the mayor and Gavin Gruesome, as Trump likes to call him. Can have them all.
I know Canada is interested. Maybe Canada would be interested in a trade. Like, we don't have to take all of Canada for the 51st state. We could take the northeast portion,
right,
and give them California. Like that.
I wouldn't want anything. I'd just give them California. Just get rid of it. Jesus.
All right. What's the 5 losses in a row here? And we're all getting older. What is the problem with this Bruins team?
Well, I'm very encouraged because I saw that after practice the other day they had a group hug.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yes.
I was I warmed the cockles in my heart, Greg. It was just incredible to see. In my time we would have had a brawl at the end of practice and then gone out for Boilermakers, but that's a different era, right? But I don't know what to tell you about that. The special teams aren't good. I think Swayman's been okay. He's not been quite as good as he's been in the past, but I don't have any worries about him. The defense has been a little bit porous, but it comes down to what we've talked about in the past right now. If you're looking at a power play that's as anemic as this one is, it has to be a talent related thing. And the only way to fix that is through personnel movement and good drafting. And good drafting is going to take a long time to make a big difference in this outfit.
So, Mike, if you think that it's a talent issue right now, then you don't put the blame on Joe Sacco. Like, has this ruined the chance for him to be the full-time head coach next season?
No, I don't. I don't see any. There've been some glaring defensive breakdowns in the last 5 games, but prior to that, they seem to have righted the ship a little bit and gotten things figured out. And I think his approach was what was needed for a team with this level of talent and in their personnel. But they ran into a little bit tougher schedule, and they've got a tougher one coming up in Florida in the next couple of games. I mean, this could very well go to 7 games in a row, but it's a team that needs to find top 6 talent amongst their forwards. If you're asking me, Marchand at 36, they're relying on him a lot more than they should have to, and he's a top 6 forward for now. And Pasternak, and after that, don't give me Zaka and don't give me Coyle. I like them as players, but they're third line players, and Lindstrom has just been blah. Overpriced talent, and they thought they were going to get something special, and he's lucky to be in the top 6 right now.
Speaking of Florida, the NHL announced the outdoor games next season. Bruins get one. You like that?
I can't show you, but I'm yawning now. You know what? What's
it's not of interest.
Okay.
It's
okay. Their ratings for their last outdoor game were, miserable. It's tired. Florida, palm trees and stuff. It's going to be kind of unique, and I guess that's kind of cool for the people who live there. But I'm not putting it on my calendar as a must-watch television event.
Mike, with the trade deadline a little bit less than 2 months away, what do you think the Bruins do? It looks like they probably will be a playoff team, even though they're struggling. If you were the GM, I guess, what direction would you go in?
For me, they have to be. They're certainly not building for a Stanley Cup run. That happened a couple of years ago, and it didn't work. It was a great try by Don Sweeney. I thought he did a good job of adding all those pieces near the deadline, and it just flubbed, and that's unfortunate. And he cost himself very valuable pieces in the draft. But I think they have to hold still. If they can make a major trade, which I don't foresee happening, that would be good. But it's not going to be a trade based on how deep they want to go in the playoffs this year. It's going to be a trade based on what their future will look like, and that is a tougher and more, prescient kind of thing. You have to look forward to seeing what you're going to look like, and it's got to have the holes at the center position are massive right now. And if they can do anything that can put them in a position to either draft or pick up a player that they think will one day be a top 6 center, let alone a top line center, that's where I'm looking at. And I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think they're going to stand pat, and they're going to have to work their butts off in the draft to find pieces that are going to be long-term solutions to their problems.
Well, at least you got a good effort in the brawl from Trent Frederick the other night.
Well, that's the least he can do. 1 goal in 14 games, no assists. Sorry, am I being grumpy today or what? It's
okay.
Let's get rid of Greenland anyway. At least I'm not Ed.
Mike, I know that you brought up Swayman already and saying that it's more a defensive effort that is lacking, but it's not just the Bruins that are on a 5-game skid. Like, he's on a 4-game skid right now, and you look at Korpisalo, not much better, but a little bit. At what point for you will it reach where you're going to start blaming Swayman?
If you look at some of the goals, a lot of the goals coming from really weird angles, like passes from behind the net to the slot where nobody's picked up, I can't blame Swayman for that. It's, he's looking behind him over his shoulder, and all of a sudden the pass comes out front and bang, somebody in the slot is a one-time release. I can't blame him.
And there's 3 guys in black and gold jerseys that are standing there watching.
Yeah, they're watching. Yeah, their eyes are on the puck, not on the guys that they're supposed to be covering. And and I saw Joe Sacco had it right. When you're playing defense, you have to have your head on a swivel. You're looking all around, but you're constantly finding your check. And I haven't seen a lot of that happening, and that's in the last 5 games or so. And it was happening prior to that, but they are playing better teams, and the task is a little bit tougher. And it's going to be tougher, as I said, going to sunny Florida, which should not, sounds good, but not when you're playing Tampa and the Panthers.
Hockey guy in the Twitch chat does not like me referring to that as a brawl. So that I apparently.
Oh, come on. Let's touchy-feely days. I'm so tired. Didn't we just elect a president so we can get rid of the touchy-feely days?
They're giving him no credit because he was punching Helmet, and we all saw his knuckles afterwards in the penalty box. But I give him credit for wanting to go and for working very hard. To make that happen.
Yeah, Corey Perry was like, I'm not really sure if I want to do this for a moment.
He didn't want to fight.
No, he didn't want to fight at all. And you know what? And you had to give him the extra. Everybody was whining on TV about the extra 2 for Frederick. Well, I mean, the guy pushed him 10 times, and he might as well just spit in his face mask. But it was, it is tough now to have a good brawl with the helmets and the face masks. It's you wind up with tarnished knuckles, but not much else. But it did maybe give a little satisfaction to the bench.
Mike, I know it's different sports, but we were all talking about Mayo and Elliott Wolf and the direction of this team. When you look at the Bruins, there are a lot of people that put the blame on Sweeney.
Scheim.
Scheim's one of them. And Sacco started off pretty cool, and now he's kind of fizzling out as far as how the team has been playing. If your ownership, or maybe Cam Neely, or I don't know who's going to be what direction are you going in after the season when it comes to both your current head coach now and your GM and Sweeney right now? Are you completely blowing both of those guys out, or are you running it back with Sweeney? What direction you think they're going to go in?
It's a good question, but I think you'd have to ask that question a while ago when Sweeney was trading all those draft picks and players to make a good run. I think everybody was giving him an attaboy. Yeah. And now he's paying the price for it because, it didn't work out. And so I believe that Sacco knows what he's doing. I don't believe they have the talent to be a real threat in the Eastern Conference. And I think that the conversation has to go to, how are we going to correct this? We're going to correct this by having great scouting, great draft. And, if you're trading any of our key pieces, they better be for a major deal. And we have to work at finding a way to solve the donut problem, the hole in the middle. There's just not enough centermen there to make things happen, and so that conversation has to happen. Do they need to change either Sacco or Sweeney? I don't think so, but they have to have a program going forward. They have to have a vision going forward, and that discussion needs to take place. And when it comes to Mayo, by the way, I read a story where after the Arizona game, he went back to the back of the plane and started playing cards with the guys while his assistants were watching film. Yeah. That's time to go, buddy. I'm sorry. You missed the bus.
Well, there's also, I just read the latest in the Boston Herald's breakdown of the season. After the Bengals game, the assistants were trying to show Mayo and others that they got lucky with the punt return fumble, that the team wasn't quite as dominant as they thought, and that Mayo wouldn't hear any of it. He was on top of the world. And then they lost their next week, and they said he acted like somebody shot his dog. Oh. So the assistants, anonymously, cowardly, are burying Gerard Mayo once again.
Well, it sounds like he kind of buried himself, too, though.
Yeah. It's the Gatorade bath.
All right, Mike Milbury, thank you, and we will talk to you next week.
Goodbye, guys.